Yo les gens, j'espère que vous allez bien, moi ça va tranquille. Pour max, comme d'hab. On va continuer. Oh merde, je peux... Ah putain, c'est vrai que c'est coq. Je peux allumer tonton coq. Ah. Mais t'as arrêté à où déjà? Ouais, t'as arrêté au bâtiment. Oui, c'est ça. Faut changer de scène. Tout de suitement, tout de suite. Très important. Hop. Ah, j'avoue que j'ai mal mis mon truc, ça me stresse. J'aime pas quand ça me stresse. Je suis pas bien. Un feu voir. Ah ouais, là je vois mieux. J'avoue qu'un écran noir sur un écran noir, c'était pas ouf. Tac. Ah ouais, mais du coup, si je me vois, bon. C'est hyper. Pas on disait à la dame voir son mari.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing. And I specifically added that I didn't need to know where he was. Very well then. Where is he? Excuse me?
There's something else hiding in her voice, though. A trace of worry.
Right, 'cause working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what? You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband. Although not that one. I did, and he is. He's also an alcoholic. No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. He's probably in the park or in Shamrock somewhere, drinking with his friends. I haven't seen him for... Well, to hell with him.
There. She's worried now.
I wouldn't be so sure. Ma'am, just to be completely clear, do you want to report it to the police?
Report what? He's just out drinking with his friends. I'm sure the police has better things to do than to chase down local goofballs.
They are not all they're cracked up to be, officer. Because people either show up on their own, or you never find them. I'd say there's nothing mysterious about incompleteness. It's in fact rather unpleasant.
You're wrong there. Incompleteness is the essence of mystery.
All right then. He has questions now.
What kind of questions? Honestly, not that different from you. That's one way to put it, yes. No offense. I'd also add he's a little bit chubby. What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. The lining is hand-sewn. I made it myself. It's his cool jacket. God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change. I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it? Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night. I wouldn't like him to catch cold.
She's thinking about him out in the cold, in some park, or on the coast. And it's making her more and more worried.
Yesterday morning, he went to the library. He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk straight back home. Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do with his addiction. Just makes me feel weak.
She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
So you are going to look for him?
She genuinely wants you to now. Don't make her ask.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself. I'm still sure of that.
I'm sure he will too. When he does, would you let Precinct 57, Kim Kitsuragi, know?
I will. Of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing.
Ok. Veste marron avec intérieur bleu. Ah, parce qu'il était veste marron. Et vous êtes quoi de rien, vous?
I have really... Yes! René! Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day? Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
His tone lacks its usual intensity, like he doesn't feel he has the right to speak on the matter.
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was René's first girl back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy.
And then you stole her from me.
Oh, officer. It already got ugly nearly 80 years ago when the three of us were just learning to walk and talk.
You stole her from me.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress.
We were just boys then. This was different. You... No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have company. Officer.
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage, peaceful. René and I were both by her bedside when she...
died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back, will it now?
departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met.
A quick grimace of pain passes over René's features, but he immediately regains control. His face now a dispassionate mask again.
She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us to marry. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married. Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. Seduced her with your fancy words and pastries.
He suddenly remembers you are still there, falls silent, and turns away.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left. Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week, but that's all I know, really. No, officers, I'm sorry, and I really would like to assist. You are both good guys, I can see that.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with the ghost caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that.
Respects?
I'm not even anyone.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone important in the Union. I just know Evrard. Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard about it years later, when it had already moved on. You don't know history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes, this animosity is ancient.
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Evrard, Edgar, and the older debarders all know me. Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Evrard keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a Weathervane. Turns the way the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate the socialist rabble, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence, never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already.
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say. Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers.
Oh,
About
j'avais déjà lu, je crois.
Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Everhart and I had these long talks where
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
no, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
Bon, du coup, on peut pas réessayer parce qu'on n'est pas passé.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Ah si.
Yeah. Why?
Why must we stop to look at this wall every time we pass by?
Eh ouais, mais ça me fait chier aussi. Dans la porte, on avait fait. Ça, on avait fait. Non, on peut pas faire. Balcon, on avait fait.
Getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, it's eating them all up now. There's something else in there. There has to be. But it's like reaching your hand into muddy water, fishing around, and coming up with nothing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're shit out of luck, fishing around right now. You're drowning. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
I don't dispute that you have been charged with protecting the people of a particularly challenging district. But poverty does not make one a loser. Poverty is just poverty.
Nothing you can say would make you feel any better now. Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigned from the RCM following a nervous breakdown.
T'abandonnes, tu deviens dépressif. Très bien. Ouais, comme dire autre. Ah putain, faut reparler à la meuf pour activer la quête du coup.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband and I specific very well then. Where is he? Excuse me?
There's something else.
Right, cause working class women. You were right. I do have an alcoholic. I did. No, he's not.
There. She's worried now.
I wouldn't, man.
Report what? He's just out drinking with his friends. I'm sure the police has better things to do than to chase down local goons.
They are not because people either show up on their own or I'd say.
You're wrong there. Incompleteness.
Alright then.
What kind of quest? Honestly, not
Yeah.
that different. That's one. What
Il
else?
fait
It's
ça.
I even tried throwing it a bell
She's thinking about him out in the...
yesterday
Il fait
because.
ça.
She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
So
She genuinely wants you to know.
Oui.
thank you.
I'm sure he.
I will, of course, officer. As I said, it's
Ok. J'aime bien le si vous y arrivez. Est-ce qu'on refait le test? J'avoue que 3%,
Just
bon,
an ordinary war. Nothing.
j'avoue que... Pas déconner. Ça on prend. Ah attends, on avait dit... Ok. Là on a fait verrouiller
You
ça.
hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10. The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. You can feel tension on the other side. A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment.
Ok. Là il faut la pince.
This door has been closed. No reply. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded.
You seem committed to it, so go on.
What are you doing?
Ok.
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness.
Ouais, c'est comme il m'en
There's
reste
something-
un,
yeah,
du coup,
you're
oui.
still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
Fuck me? I understand this is by no means an easy investigation.
Nothing you can say. Cop gives up the
Donc en gros, quand il me reste un de morale, tu perds la game. Putain, fais chier. Putain, fais chier. Moi j'avais fait ça.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffiti. The mail collection box has no faith in your...
Tac, 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 tac,
There. She's...
I would, man.
tac,
Report
tac.
what? He's just out drinking with his friend.
They are not because people either show up on
Tac.
You're wrong there.
Alright.
Tac.
What kind of quest? Honest? Oh, thank God, no. Well, what else? It's his cool. I even tried. Well,
She's thinking about him.
yesterday
Tac.
because.
She turns away from you.
So,
She genuinely...
thank you.
I'm sure.
I will. Of course, officer. As I said.
Du coup, ça rien que j'ouvre la porte, j'arriverai pas à l'ouvrir.
Cold room door outside. Splashes of waves make the balcony slippery.
Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry. Pea-brain, someone played a trick on you. Martinaise is a name for anyone who comes from Martinaise, like Sim Jambrock or Raoul Ravachol.
Oops, you really didn't get the joke there.
I thought it was obvious. Anyway, officer, we don't have the witness's name.
Yes, I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for? Talk? He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
Ask away, policeman. The hell am I supposed to know? Another nut job, I assume.
She really doesn't like those nut jobs. Bad blood there.
Some lunatic lost his mind. All kinds of morons pass through these halls.
With how small these rooms are, wouldn't you want to break the wall down?
People come and go. I don't keep an eye on everyone. The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. Still... She leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others.
She mumbles some kind of a response.
Ok. Il y a une boîte là, j'ai même pas vu. Ah, c'est parce que j'ai le truc dans la main. Toi, je t'avais parlé, toi.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire?
Hmm. Ça doit être crèche. Et là-haut, on avait fait. Attends, c'était où? J'avais vu, il y avait... Ah oui, c'est là. C'est quoi ça? On peut ouvrir avec un petite piche. Cadenas peut-être. Simple porte-circuit n'a rien à voir pour l'instant.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the door.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening. We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good?
Fameux de revenir demain.
Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28. Good, let's go.
Good, let's go. Ok, donc ça on peut pas le faire. Ça c'est bon, ça y a rien. Du coup on repart par là. Porte on peut pas le faire. Là c'était chez le mec, mais je crois qu'il y a rien chez le mec. Par les tasses, mais les tasses on avait vu.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark
Ok. Pas lui parler. Enfin si on peut lui parler à elle, mais ça change rien.
Trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep? Pigs come to take me out? Trying to snuff me out?
If anything, you're afraid she'll take you out one day.
Then why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea to scare me, pig. Not a good idea at all. Trying to sneak...
Oh, un brun. Non. Le truc, c'est qu'il commence à plus rien avoir. Hein. Ah, attends. Je pense qu'il y a un, lui. Hein.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man.
Ah, ça a des clopes.
Don't smoke. Some of the other drivers do, though. There's still a few around, waiting for the jam to disperse.
Yup, nothing wrong with that statement. Your senses have nothing to add. You'll have to ask around elsewhere.
You could also check the kiosk down the street. Frit. With 3 T's. Rebishaw's weird.
Ah, c'est prétentieux gage de cacahuètes. Faut pas qu'on donne des trucs
Hello
nouveaux. Hein.
again. How can I help you?
On peut faire celle-là?
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Parolidon. It's tough to come by on the street. A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
Why on earth? These are prescription. I can't really see without them.
There's a note of indignation in his voice. Interesting. Those triangle patches on his vest, you have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket.
I was with the emergency relief brigade. You know, after the People's Pile disaster. Had to take Parolidon for radiation sickness. That's what you were hinting at just now, wasn't it?
He's taking it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too. We were an all-volunteer force. Self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill. I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance. Didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick. There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment, and early deaths. Cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could. No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen? The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forburg as I can. Still in the same city, but... I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement. not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Sure thing. Sure, man.
Ok. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Ah oui, ça on l'avait fait ça. Ça c'est que
A
mercredi.
crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Two ugly.
Ah ouais, ça c'est mercredi. La benne on l'a fait. Tac tac.
The shine on these sunglasses
Ah ouais.
lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
On va reparler, tiens.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool here. Everything's cool. The goods are cool. The customers are cool. The place is cool. And one more thing, officer.
From out on the bay, a cool wind gathers. It sweeps into the city, tugging at the textiles hanging around the stand. Some distance away, the sound of a tin can clattering across the street can be heard.
You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang. What? No. I can't believe you said that. You got personal style. You know what you like. You like premium menswear. Look around and browse. Everything looks cool on a guy like you. Take your time.
Don't be distracted by the flattery and funny man act. Questions.
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All Revachol. Very sharp, officer. I'm Serais, from the Sigai province of the Serais Empire. The apricot suzerainty, you know?
The apricot suzerainty is what the Sigai archipelago is commonly known as in Revachol. It's a bit of a fraught term, I'm sure you understand.
No, apricots come from Sigai. My grandma used to grow them. But Sigai is a shithole. That's why I came to Revachol. Here's much better for an independent entrepreneur. Less laws. Speaking of, why not support an independent local entrepreneur? I send half my profits back to my grandma in Sigai.
Well, if it's for his grandma, you should buy a lot of things.
Ouais, j'ai moins un parce que sa grand-mère est en situation précaire.
Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only freedom.
Oh,
No
tiens.
need for discounts at ceilings, officer. Everything's already on sale. Anything you want, 50% off. I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, wholesalers, all extremely cool and above board. Good joke, officer. Here we don't have permits, just economic freedom. Take a look around.
You glance around the decrepit buildings, the miserable weather, the sidewalks strewn with sunflower seeds and a dust-choked air.
It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom.
It is, yes. Anyone can set up their shop whenever they feel like it.
That's right. No permits, no bureaucracy. That's why this city and its low officials are so cool.
If you wanted to be cynical about it, you could say we are here to protect the interests of property holders. I am not, however.
My man, officer, you make all this possible. Without you, this climate would be extremely bad for business. You're part of the Gossamer state. Yeah, cool ruins. I get to sell quality goods like these by cutting out the middlemen. You don't have to rebuild your house, live in a crater, or in a tree. Where can you do that? Only here. Anything for you.
Ok. Oh. C'est intéressant. C'est vrai qu'on a le mec qu'on n'a pas parlé. Hein. Là je crois que c'est toujours pas. Je l'avais fait, j'ai foiré. Elle veut pas.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big heavy garage. The windows are clear. They've been.
Ah oui. Ou lui on l'a pas fait.
Bastards! We have a right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down. We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes. Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work! Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence. Rights of people, rights of workers, to have gainful employment, to make a salary, and feed their families. Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here.
Shame on you!
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scab.
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were
given a job to do!
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates. Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guards blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is. Like civilized folk, you mean? These native fucks don't understand civilized.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then, we charge. When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people. Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work!
When the man moves around, you perceive some serious abs underneath his tight-fitting shirt. This man is in shape.
I work hard, and I would work even harder if the fuckers would let us work!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
What's it to you? Am I a suspect? Done no crimes. I only fight for the rights of people. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill. Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? Uh-huh. It was a long time ago.
Ok. On va recauser à lui.
So, how'd you like our harbor? It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk. Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole. Like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a real piece of work. Thanks for helping out, friend.
Mm-hmm.
The little boy had the good on his promise. To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me, pardon the choice of words, not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes. I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part. I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia. Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
Nice and balanced. Some junior officers can take care of the rest.
Smart choice. It's only that one spot you need armored too. The one the bullet hits. Good luck if you go for those boots though. You'd have an easier time wresting the spurs off a boyadero than getting them off him. It's a minor nuisance. It's all good.
He thinks, not yet. Better to get this business out of the way. Sweeter then.
No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
He is sincerely grateful he is not tracking down pieces of armor right now.
Ensuite, bon lui, il faut essayer de passer, mais je sais pas comment on fait.
The unpromising race pupil returns. He does not.
Ok. Ça, on l'avait fait, hein.
The file cabinet stands steady as ever. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants, sweep office floor. More all items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled. Hundreds, and the same material you already went through all the drawers.
Téléphone, c'est pareil.
The already familiar cold touch
Ah,
of
mais attends, on
plastic
peut
welcomes you as you pick up the handset. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the dialing code for Revachol. 4952, and a moment of hesitation before entering the final numbers. 993. Calling. Calling. Still calling. Then.
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy. How may I help you? Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lummy. Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you rent videos here. No. Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period? Let me fire up the machine. Dubois. Dubois. Here we are. You haven't rented anything in 5 years, but you still have a copy of Blue Ocean Hell from November 46. Whoa, not a fun film, that one. It's not an easy watch. After the death of his daughter and subsequent divorce, Ziemsk immigrant Egidius Wojcik tries to come to terms with the onset of dementia. No wonder no one's been missing it. Still, it would be great if you could return it to us. We're on the corner of Voyager and Main.
On the corner of Voyager and Main, a large neon sign hangs on the side of a building. Video Revachol, 24 hours. It's raining and there is almost no traffic on the street. A woman's footprints in the mud lead away from the front door. Tiny heels tiptoeing down the road. Beautiful steps, light-footed with a lifetime ahead of them. You look up and the air seems to grow darker. Suddenly you feel like you don't want to hear about video rentals anymore. You don't want to hear about any of it. It was all shit. It's over. It.
That's enough for you today. Let's conclude this call.
Mhm. Est-ce qu'on a le conteneur ici hein? Là je crois qu'il n'y a plus rien ici.
This is the night watchman's booth.
Mhm. Mhm. Là, il faudrait là.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
La porte de s'ouvrir.
You attempt to turn the handle. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. And, as it's always been, it's impossible to open a container.
Ah. C'est pas comme ça qu'on l'ouvre.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened. Sure, mister. Absolutely. I'm always willing to help out nice fellows such as yourself.
Ok, et lui il est toujours là ou il est parti? Il est revenu. Ouais mais en vrai j'ai pas besoin d'interroger. Ah, à moins que... un truc genre le faire béton et du coup il s'ouvre.
Control panel with several knobs. The words marche and arrête are very, very slightly, even more faded with use.
On va essayer arrêt quand même. C'est pas la science.
A rusting crane does not return to its original position.
Non, c'est pas par là. Ok. Lui, rien de plus.
Looking for something, Rod? Come to tell me to fuck off?
Il reste plus que lui.
This is where you say your bit.
He's used to giving orders and having them obeyed immediately. You should not indulge him.
Detective.
Precinct 57's finest scans the room, leaving the speaking to you. He trusts you. Maybe against his better judgment, but he does.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that won't.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty for you.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would have just left him up there. You must really like cleaning up other people's shit.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them.
No. I's here. You got business with my boys. You got business with me.
The boys are too eager to please him to keep their mouths shut. You're gonna get a good head count here. Just wait.
Yeah! You fuck with the Hardy boys, you fuck with Titus Hardy!
Relax, Dennis. No one is fucking you yet.
Yeah, Dennis, calm down. No one's fucking you, you stupid fuck.
Let Dennis enjoy his fucking, man. We don't mind.
Yeah, you're not even being fucked, Dennis.
Easy, fellas. We got company. Let's see what brings the cop around.
Too late. You already scanned the room. You got a pretty good picture. Of the actors here, you could take another look at the tracks in the mud on the crime scene. Compare it to these guys.
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Container belt, like we use in the harbor? Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him.
As he speaks, his fists contract, going through the pulling motion again, savoring it.
We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck. Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
They're playing to their considerable strength in numbers. Don't talk about arresting them. You'll only bring attention to your inability to do so.
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life. Oh, so you are just a simple, well-meaning man, eh? Ever been in solitary? Prison is a charter. That's what it is.
He's clearly been in solitary confinement, and at a young age, nonetheless.
So is hanging a man, slowly, without breaking his neck.
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy boy without arresting all Hardy boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Titus, keep addressing him. He wants everyone to know he's in charge.
Who do you fucking think does?
He's so sure it's him. But it's not that simple. There's someone above him, or beside him, sharing the leadership. Hard to say who.
It wasn't a question, dickwad. How fucking stupid are you?
This asshole is worse than... Titus runs the Hardy Boys, genius. That's why we're called the Hardy Boys. Ain't that right, fellas?
I think you got your answer, Mr. Law.
Yes, there are some administrative differences. But on that night, they all acted as one man. You don't have to keep answering his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier, the representative for White Pines? The same company you're striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what? Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town. And he stepped out of line.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
'Cause one night, he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm Oranese goddamn Special Forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all!
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some Oranese paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did, right there. Like some kind of animal.
Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
There's a slight unease in him, suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
No, you're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter, and I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
You're pretty sure you've had at least 2 years of cop school and many more of active service. Certainly enough to not put up with this backsass. Deliver a knockdown observation.
Look, I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo. I'll say it again. We killed him.
Bah voilà. Non, tu l'as pas tué.
Yeah, I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clapped him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
My fucking elbow, copper. Samaran boxing style. Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar.
Yeah, man, weren't you listening?
They keep speaking for Titus, so that he wouldn't get his hands muddy with too much explaining. Actually, they're admirably, surprisingly composed. The entire room. Well, this one, but he's always fidgeting, so don't get your hopes up.
Dommage.
Like what, copper? Yeah, lawman. Why don't you?
Weren't you warned to not go down this path? And yet you still go and do it.
Not in the arresting mood?
A fearful readiness, like an electrical charge, raises hairs in the room. By your side, the lieutenant keeps his hand away from his holster. You hear the nylon of his coat hiss as he steps closer. Easy. Walk back from the provocation. They're armed, and they outnumber us. The lieutenant tries to establish eye contact with you.
Wise move. You made the right choice there. Now make another one and get the fuck out.
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility, we're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Rent-a-cop? So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals. Forget about their games. You've mapped out the characters. Reading the footprints in the yard should be easier now.
Faut être 16. Ah ouais. Je crois lui il a rien. Et on va aller revoir le pendu. Il y a une meuf sur le balcon.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here. 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. Where else have we seen a gang of men in work boots? That's right, the Hardy Boys in the mess hall of whirling in rags. 1. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 46. Just like Titus was wearing in his booth, this is the big dick, Titus Hardy, the one with the bald cap on his head. Is it? They didn't even bother to change boots. Putting them on the scene is easy, maybe even too easy. 2. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. Either the blonde muscular guy, Glenn, or the young guy with a plectrum around his neck. 3. Hobnailed work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 43. The inked banger, perhaps. 4. Standard work boot, number 45 or 46. Theo, the old smoker. You think you even see a tiny fleck of cigarette ash inside the print. 5. Another standard work boot, reinforced toes, number 44. Same as before. Either the musician, Eugene, or the muscle-bound blonde, Glenn. 6. Light as air. Same make of boot, but number 41. Small like a rat, shanky. Better late than never, detective. The whole world is dark and the tracks burn in it with strange beauty. 7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot, number 46. The imprints are twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 200 kilograms. Fat Angus, carrying something. 8. Another standard work boot, number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole. The right sole is smoother, more worn. Curious. A missing 8th Hardy Boy.
7 sets of tracks, right? The Hardy Boys were here. That's all? Interesting. Then one of them seems to be missing. Anything else out of the ordinary?
A leader like Titus doesn't let one of his guys out of sight easily, especially at a time like this.
Interesting. Let's name it the Old Soul. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the missing Hardy Boy. Wonder who he is. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor? Or maybe a drummer?
He regrets it the moment he says it.
No, it's not. Forget I said it. We are not looking for a drummer. Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out the right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right. We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no? Mm-hmm. I'm guessing that's the skinny Hardy Boy. The one with his front teeth missing. Yes, well, he did look a bit like a rat, you're right. Do you think those prints belong to him? I could still be wrong, but I'm probably not. 200. This could be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up. Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built armored man. Maybe it was a fat Hardy Boy, the one sitting in the middle.
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Possibly, yes. A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, people reported the hanging.
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Réveillon. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at the tree.
So far, so good. Only one thing missing.
Of course, there were 8 tracks, but there are only 7 Hardy Boys.
Mm-hmm. Which one is missing, do you think? I'm going to say it was our old soul. Yes, I doubt the Hardys are going to tell us who this person is. For now, it's best if we just keep our eyes open. I'm sure our investigation will eventually lead us to the old soul.
Mhm. Ok, on va y voir lui.
Fuck does Kuno care? So?
You should thank him.
Yeah, so? Kuno did sick the pigs on him. Kuno's a man of his word.
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello.
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on. You got fucked. You got fucked, pig. Fucked bad. Of course you're gonna remember this. Now get the fuck out of here, griefing the Kuno. After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
Yeah, real interesting.
Est-ce qu'il a sa cabane?
The fuck do you want with it? Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom. Kuno doesn't...
Revacholian nationhood. The Revacholian state will be a serene place. You should get a drink.
Ouah, c'est chelou ça. Quand on en a des choses, hein. Putain. Bah en fait on est obligé de les enlever. Ouais ça en vrai on s'en fout. Excuse-moi mais on s'en tape le coquillage. T'as raison temporaire plus sain d'empathie envers Kim. Ok. Et c'est ça. Ok. À combien de place? On va mettre... Le plus long c'est lequel? 6 heures. Ok, très bien, très bien. Ah, faut enlever les bottes.
The man is decomposing visibly now. Every hour, he looks less like a creature and more like a pile of intestines. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into some kind of circus. If you think so, officer, I'm not going to object. I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I'll take it from there.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. May they rest in processing.
Continue working here. The locals, the case, or attend to your own business. I will meet you downstairs in the Whirling in Rags tomorrow morning, 7:30 sharp.
This means Lieutenant Kisuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side tasks and even the main case, though it might be more difficult. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bench on the plaza.
Ok. On emballe le corps. « 21h. » Ah, faut demander aux gens les tatouages, mais... T'es pas, toi.
Hello again, sir. Oh, that's Auntie Billy. She's nice if a bit distressed. No, sir. She's a working woman who comes to look at the books a lot. I think she is a bad husband. Not very nice or helpful.
Ok. Ça, on l'a fait. Lui, on peut pas parler. Ça, on l'a fait aussi.
We're still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking.
Ah ouais, du coup, lui, faut le refaire.
Yes.
René, hello, officer. Oh,
do not.
His tone lacks its usual
We knew she was.
And then you stole her.
Oh.
You stole her.
Well.
We were just no point starting this one.
She died. René
died.
A quick grimace of pain passed.
She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married. Heck, technically, we both still...
You always confuse...
He suddenly remembers you are still...
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left.
Okay.
You've hurt yourself now. I told you not to mess around back there. What are you even trying to accomplish, you fool? You're only making things worse. Stop it. Be compelled to look at the books.
Mais non.
Hello again, esteemed officer.
Ok. Mais non, mais non, mais non.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly
83%, c'est quand même ça passe.
And charms. It appears to be locked. You smash into the wood and see a small crack appear on the door frame. It's going to take one more try to break through to the other side. But you've done it.
What are you doing, officer?
Alors, ça cache quoi? Oh, une boule. C'est que du punching ball. La boule, on récupère. Ouais. Ouais.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar? No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone. A memory from another life, when you were young and fit.
Non mais si je fais ça... Ouais, ma tête a fait souffrir parce que j'ai le... Oui. On tente. Allez. Ouais. Je vais me péter l'épaule. Voilà.
You manage to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Turn.
Très bien. Donc en fait, il n'y a que ça. Ah non, j'allais dire. Putain, il n'y a que ça. Les vitres et de débris. Je vois rien. Petit endroit par là. Putain, du coup, j'aurais pu mettre le frigo. Ouais, ouais. Oh, il y a un truc intéressant là. La toune. J'aime la toune. Ouais. Quoi de la toune? Il y a là aussi. Ah, c'est le bordel.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes, like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all. Your eyes glide over 4 sections of the imposing green chalkboard. The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine. a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe." This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region. A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe." Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise. This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer. The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. This is where the machine's memory should go.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Okay.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being. The symbols seem very esoteric. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic. Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. Looks like a surveillance program. Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people. Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. All of this is gone, left unrealized. Nothing, it's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Alors attends, avant de faire la porte. Par là. Oh, pas encore? Ah. Et donc ça va là.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Cut like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Oh no. It was already glowing and now it's also making a sound. It's probably some alien CO-like technology. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? The filament you have inserted into the reader. That was a question. Have you inserted it into the core? Good. Please repeat the password.
You should ask her for a hint.
No. I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder for stress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament. Now, can you please repeat the password? Still no. Received. I will register this login attempt.
That sounds bad. A login attempt. Something a criminal would do.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to. One moment. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says. Any other questions? Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios.
On an island on the river Esperance, a small woman, all skin and bones, sits in a room filled with audio equipment. Thousands of tiny lights are reflected back from her prescription lenses, like stars in the dark. Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by herself?
Lonely? Why would it get lonely? I get to talk to people all day.
That's why she does this.
Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do, Fortress Accident. Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard. Nothing happens.
Ok, bon, on va voir si on peut pas trouver le mot de passe. Ah, on sort. Oh, le bordel. Ah, le fameux frigo. Oh là là, oh là là, oh là là. Trop de trucs. Ça, c'est la sortie. Je prends. Le fameux frigo.
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. This ice bear is a hyper-carnivore. Be careful. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door. A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge.
Ok. Oh, des trucs là. Voilà, voilà. c'est pas par là, c'est par là. Ouais, un truc jaune, ça sent le... Oh là là, mais ça s'arrête donc jamais.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in. Inside, a secret room infested with rats, spiders, and woodlice. There is, inside, it's nothing but gloomy blackness. Better not stick your hand inside. Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spider webs, rummaging around. You find a number of rusty rifles hidden away. Most of them are ugly and inoperable, but a single rifle catches your eye. It's a bolt action with a fine wood stock. A fit service weapon for a fit officer. Too bad it doesn't work. It looks like it's been out of order for years. It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around Martinez. This is an interesting coincidence. Could prove useful in some way. You don't know how, yet, but it might be useful down the road.
Attends, est-ce que ça veut dire que quand on va dans le... On va voir le mec, on peut revendre le pétard ou pas? 17$. 11$.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface. Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sulislav. According to the note, someone named Sulislav. Someone who owns a radio computer, one might assume. It does, but who might that be? The note doesn't specify. The note does not specify. Are you serious? You sure you don't want to hazard a guess here, detective? Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Somewhere among the shadows in the cellar.
Ok. Là. Attends, ça veut dire qu'il faudrait mettre... une pince?
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance you hear water dripping. It's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur. What better to assuage the creeping sense of failure than some frozen fat and sugar? You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. If you want to try again, then you need to have the
Equip the pry bar by going to the Tools tab in your inventory.
Ah ouais, bah fallait le dire, c'était le pied de biche.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top
pas assez costaud.
and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
Ça veut dire que j'ai une chance de le casser? Faut que je regarde.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Non, ça veut dire c'est lui.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it.
Machine débranchée plus 2. Par contre, on est toujours à moins 20. Embêtant ça. On peut aller encore par là. C'est le bordel, on peut aller partout. Oh là, oh là. Ok. Débardeur filé complètement dingue. Lucien d'art dramatique. Ouais. Ça peut être la chemise. Hein. Oh, on est 2 pour les calculs. Moi qui ai regardé 2 pour les calculs. Bon, on va essayer.
This orange machine is dead still.
Ah ouais merde, j'ai plus le truc. Je vais regarder ce qu'il y a là quand même. Oh, je vois. Je vois, donc maintenant on se retrouve devant. On désactive l'ours. Je pense pas que... Donc en vrai on peut désactiver l'ours, on a plus le cadavre. Ah, ça change quelque chose.
Cable is plugged into the breaker box. An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. This orange.
Non. Ça. Non.
This orange machine is dead still. It has the ice squeaks beneath the pry. You see the pry bars. That's a good pry bar. But this ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open. Some kind of super pry bar. You have no idea where to get one. Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Then we will know what's in this mysterious ice cream maker.
Ça c'est bon. Bon ça y a rien qu'à changer puisqu'on l'a éteint. Ah si, maintenant que c'est machin, non? Tac tac tac, et ça c'est quoi?
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs. Maybe it's coming from somewhere upstairs. You should investigate. Or maybe you're just hungover again. A lush layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient. You feel the spirit of Ramut Karzai, ancient hero of Grad, pulsing through you. All that's left is to cover your face in war paint. 3 dangerous stripes appear onto your cheeks, telling stories of your wild soul. What a proud warrior. This is how the hunted becomes the hunter in this dark, dangerous place. A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts.
Oh, on n'a plus rien. Comme ça. Bon. Ah, pas rien. J'avais fait ça, oui.
This old fireplace, a diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being. The symbols seem very radio frequencies. It's unclear. It looks like, you think so? The way it looks like a surveillance program. Whoever all of this is got nothing.
Ouais, ça c'est pareil, on l'avait fait.
Your flashlight, some of the writing has faded with age.
J'ai pas le mot de passe. Ça on a fait, ça on a fait. Elle est là. Oh là, oh là, oh là là, oh là là, oh là là. Carte postale. Des pompes. À mon avis, c'est le pied de biche.
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Still nothing. Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy. There must be another way to wake up whoever is in there. Maybe you should talk to the lady in the bookstore. Ask what's going on.
Alors si je prends le pied de biche, ça marche pas non plus?
As before.
Non. Très bien. Écoute, sur ce on se casse.
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leeching onto my shop. I suppose it's all over now. I guess there's no escape. Just a door? This place is cursed, Detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Just look at the sheer amount of companies that have failed in this house. I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now that you've broken the door, the curse is coming to get me as well. Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a policeman. All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. We are set on the path. There's little else to do. But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity? Yes, the malignant entity that lives inside the chimney. It takes the shape of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she knows more about the curse than she lets on ever since I first saw her. Yes, I've heard that. It's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains upstairs. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse.
You should get back to the furnace. Make some noise.
Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits. The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Didn't that curtain just move?
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Sounds familiar.
Truly so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous. It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Such wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up.
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists, and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough. Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%. Yes, the Simonese are very crafty, and their wards are extremely powerful. Lesser wards simply won't do here.
The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
Oh yes, how's my precious...
The woman before you...
Ok. Attends, faut aller revoir tonton là. Ouais, mais à mon avis, il faudrait l'autre. J'ai mis mon poteau avec moi. Bon. Que peut-on bien faire? Là, on va mettre la consigne.
The tear machine, your bottles
Des beaux couteaux, Mich.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything. Because Frick has an army. I don't know, it stops people from robbing Frick, I guess. If they know there's an army, I mean, I wouldn't want to fuck with them anyway. You think the police, like, bother catching shoplifters? Frick polices themselves, so, yeah. Anything else you wanted?
You better behave yourself in this fritte, or who knows what will happen.
C'est médicament ça.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint
Bon, ça peut être pas mal. Hein. Ah mais attends, on fait comment pour vendre? Ça va être la bouffe.
You see several packaged raincoats filled.
Ah non, par la haine, ça marche pas. Ça c'est les clopes.
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health.
Ouais tiens, c'est marrant ça. Comment on fait pour... Ah si, il faut aller voir... Oui, il faut aller voir l'autre. D'ailleurs j'ai un fusil donc... Moi il devrait me le racheter.
Hello, hello. Let me know. Sure, let me have a look. I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment, and especially that tie. It swallows photons around it. I have no need for necrotic objects.
Your mother is a necrotic object! I'm fun! Look at me sparkle in the light of the projector!
Oh, no. I don't like those kinds of objects. No sale. Aphotic paths, counter-radiance networks, anti-magnetism. It's darkness. That's all I know. Sell me something lighter. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Ah bah si, on peut. Ça on peut. Ça on peut. Il manque la tête. Oh, le fusil. Un sus. Ça aussi. Est-ce qu'on donne le mouchoir? C'est quoi un mouchoir? Regarde quoi. Oh, pourquoi t'es tout là-haut?
Another time, perhaps.
Ok. On est combien? 22. C'est-à-dire que je peux très bien encore payer le loyer pour un autre jour. Mais bah, surtout aller chercher des médocs. Au moins plus 3 en morale.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicines.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
Ah, mais ça veut dire qu'en fait, ça nous en donne 3 en jetons.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or...
Ah ouais, c'est pas mal. C'est pas mal du tout. Ok, qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire? Évidemment, il faudrait refaire les trucs blancs. Impossible, impossible. Terrifiant, difficile, légendaire, difficile, diabolique. Y'a rien de facile quoi. Ah ouais, faut attendre 21 h. Et quelle heure? Je vais m'arrêter là, j'ai mal au dos. Bon. On commençait à faire du surplace. Ok. On avance, on avance. Doucement mais sûrement. Oh, j'ai obtenu un succès rare. Bon, sur ce les gens, je vous dis bonne fin de soirée, bonne nuit et à la prochaine. Bye bye.